Hello dear viewers, welcome to RTD's English News Edition of the top stories. Prime Minister honors with his presence at the celebration of the National Date Palm in Al-Sabih region. Zimbabwe President Anglais in contact with the opposition to defuse the situation. Thank you for joining us in our newsroom. The fourth edition of the National Day of Date Palms under the high patronage of the Prime Minister Abdul Qadir Kamil Mohammed, the town of Dudubale, located on the edge of the Grand Para, hosted this morning the fourth edition of the National Day of Pear Dates. The place is home to vast fields that produce several varieties of dates. The event was organized by the Ministry of Agriculture in close collaboration with FAO, the United Nations Food Organization. Farmers from all localities in the country's region have been invited to participate in this fourth national edition of this state farm, which has been described as a miracle. They had exposed on the spot the different varieties of the production of dates. This event was attended by the Minister of Agriculture, Muhammad Ahmed Awali, the Minister of Communication in charge of Posts and Telecommunications, Abdi Yusuf Sugi, the Minister of Decentralization, Muhammad Hamad Aramis, and the Minister of Women and Family, Mumina Hassan Hamad, Director of ADDS, Prefecture of Ali Sabih Region, Muhammad Wabir Asowe, Prefect of the Regional Council, Umar Ahmed Dawais, and many other senior officials. Agriculture producers in the Ali Sabih region were also present on the side. The President of the Dafainatuk Agriculture Cooperative, Ali Afkada, who had been invited to speak, spoke at length about the nutritional virtues of the dates. And at the end of the speeches, the officials visited the exhibition stands of the dates production to localities of Tijara, Obok, Tikhil and Ali Sabih. This exhibition ended with the supply of agricultural equipment to farmers of the region. They have benefited from the offer of water garden hoses, tools such as shovels, picks and wheelbarrows. Many have appreciated the production of this fruit mentioned in the Holy Book as a miracle fruit. In his speech, the representative of FAO said he was particularly honored to participate in this fourth national day dedicated to the promotion of date palm cultivation in the Republic of Djibouti. He said, in addition, extended his warmest greetings to the Minister of Agriculture and congratulated him on the extraordinary success that comes with the efforts undertaken a decade ago to the generalization of the date palm culture. And for his part, the Minister of Agriculture, Muhammad Ahmed Awali, strongly praised the financial efforts invested by his department in the generalization of the production of dates, but also the ongoing efforts shown by the farmers. Without their continued will, he said, production should not have been that high. Dates of Iraqi, Kuwaiti, Saudi and local origin are produced by our farmers. And in turn, Prime Minister Abdul Qadir Kamil Mohammed congratulated the Minister of Agriculture for the efforts invested by his department in this area. He particularly described the dates of complementary food for the milk production of the rural populations. He praised the nutritional virtues of the dates. Also in the news, Lieutenant General Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim, Chief of the General Staff of the Army Forces, made an inspection visit on Tuesday at the Hill 6 Battalion stationed at Mariama. In his trip, General Zakaria was accompanied by his advisor Major General Hassan Ali Kamil. Upon arrival, General Zakaria was greeted by Brigadier General Tahir Ali Muhammad, Chief of the Defense Staff, and Battalion Commander Hill 6, Commander Robli Muhammad Abdullah. After the takeover, the General saluted the delegation of senior ADL staff and Hill 6 Battalion officers. The Hill Commander gave a presentation on the escalation of his battalion, to note that in the process of pacification of Somalia, country brother and friend, the Republic of Djibouti deploys 2 battalions. It is in this context that the Hill 6 Battalion is set up to take up the Hill 4 Battalion, which is coming to the end of its AMISOM mission. And after a month of training at Mariam Camp, Commander Robli Muhammad Abdullah, Battalion Commander Hill 6, demonstrated to the military high command the achievements of the military through a fire demonstration exercise for these 20 soldiers with the AKM weapon fired on targets located 100 meters. In Adian, General Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim, accompanied by the delegation, witnessed the results of the firing on the various targets and was able to note the efforts undertaken. He was pleased with the results and congratulated them on their request to provide even more effort. According to the information published today by the London International Arbitration Tribunal, Djibouti was sentenced following a complaint filed by DP World. In this regard, we know that a dispute between the authorities of ports and free zones of Djibouti has deprived on the provision of certain clauses of the contract requested by the Djiboutian party and the refusal opposed to the request by DP World. The Parliament in Djibouti pronounced the breach of the contracts in the liquidation of this company. Object of the dispute is the DCT. It was also adopted in same resolution the repayment of investments and other interests to DP World. In its decision, the Parliament of Djibouti considered that the clauses of the DCT contracts were detrimental to the national's superior interests, since the port infrastructure represented a major strategic interest in the Republic of Djibouti. Following this information made public today by the London and Korea, we questioned the President of the Port and Free Zones in Djibouti, Mr. Abu Bakr Omar Hadi, about this decision and its impact on the functioning of the, as well as its company of management of terminal of Durali. Mr. Abu Bakr Hadi indicated that this decision was taken and that the Djibouti side was informed or submitted. As a result, we were absent from this trial, he said, which was pronounced following the complaint of a single party. For this reason, we do not feel concerned by this unilateral decision, which is far from being impartial. For the rest, underlined Mr. Abu Bakr Omar Hadi, it will have no impact on the operation of the Durali terminal. Asked about the information published last week by the newspaper Jeune Afrique in announcing the agreement of the Djiboutian party for compensation to the tune of the $500 million. And as well, in a national television program, the head of the Port and Free Zones authorities, Mr. Abu Bakr Omar Hadi, said that the results published by the World Bank on the judicial services, which was pointed out that Djibouti jumped from 134 to 90, especially for the investors, and that the subject of transport is a series of projects, and that the World Bank and the institutions that carry out the evolution are based on this series of projects, he said, and in the event of any problem that may impede this projects because they are linked to each other. The World Bank is implementing its report based on 5 criteria, including customs, port infrastructure, transport infrastructure, delivery of goods and services to all countries of the world and all international ports. We will continue to keep pace with efforts to reach advanced centers, especially in the field of transport and logistics, said Mr. Abubakar Omar Hadi. And the World Bank is implementing its report every 2 years, and in the next 2 years it is seeking to reach 50. Considering the Declaration of the Principal and Fundamental Rights at Work and its follow-up to the International Labour Organization and the Labour Code in force in the Republic of Djibouti, considering freedom of association, allowing the right established and the need of wage unions to organize freely for the study and defense of their common interests, to coordinate their actions, to formulate and bring to a conclusion in their general and respective demands. The Commission for the Preparation of the Union elections that receive a 9 unsolicited candidature before the close of the deposit on July 19, 2018 for the post of Secretary General of the Djibouti Telecom Union STDT following the term of office of the outgoing Secretary General. It is with great interest that we studied, they said, and according to them, carefully after a long analysis of these situations on case-by-case basis, all the submitted files, it turned out that no answer fits the criteria, and in the true interest of avoiding a single application, unfortunately, despite the obvious motivations, expect the outgoing Secretary General, no other application for this position does not match the profile south for lack of the conditions required, they concluded. Continuing with the national news, the Ministry of Agriculture, through the Water and Soil Management Program, commonly known as Progrès, has organized a training workshop on nutrition. Progrès had included a nutrition component in its program. The training that took place in the area of RTD Regional Council on July 31st is provided for mothers councils formed on the 3 courses in the RTD region. The training, entitled Prevention of Community-Based Maternal and Child Malnutrition, is provided by a nutrition expert, Mr. Hassan Ismail, who said will strengthen the capacity of the importance of nutrition in achieving good health of pregnant women, breastfeeding, and children under 5 years old. As part of the beneficent actions, as a very important donation of the first aid kits and hygiene materials granted by the Turkish agency TIKA in collaboration with the ADDS have been distributed to the households in the peripheral locality of Abaitu, periphery of the chief town of Dakhil. Indeed, on the day of the Wednesday, July 1st, the President of the Regional Council, Mr. Abdurrahman Yunis Arwe, accompanied by some elected officials of his institution in close collaboration with the second Deputy Prefect, Mr. Fuad Tawbakar, and his close collaborators, organized social operation and distribution of first aid kits as well as other hygiene materials. Also took part in these distribution operations of first aid kits the representative of TIKA, Mr. Mehmet, and the director of the social department of the ADDS, Mr. Diriye, who recalled in their subsequent speech the importance of those noble charitable actions and extended their warm thanks to the president of the CRD, the representative of the prefecture, as well as to the population of the locality of Abaitu for their very warm welcome. On the news outside our borders, Zimbabwean President Emerson Mnangagwa on Thursday called for peacefully resolving disputes with the opposition the day before the repression of the army against demonstrators who denounced electoral fraud that has killed 3 people in the aftermath of a bloody crackdown on demonstrators protesting general election fraud. Zimbabwean President Emerson Mnangagwa on Thursday, August 2nd, called for peaceful resolution of disputes with the opposition. The atmosphere was still tense in the capital, the army having ordered in the late morning the closure of the shops of downtown Harare. It is more important than ever that we be united and commit to resolve our differences peacefully and within the law, Emerson Mnangagwa told on his Twitter account. EU and after Greece, the European Union comes financially to Spain. It's a rescue. More with Mohammed Aden.
EU migrants after Greece, the EU comes financially to the rescue of Spain in the Spanish port of Algeciras. Arrivals of migrants from sub-Saharan Africa continue. The Spanish Maritime Security Service rescued a total of 106 people. To help it cope, the European Commission has announced that it will soon be providing tens of millions of euros in aid to Spain under the European Asylum, Migration and Integration Fund, a help just received from Greece to help him manage the arrival from Turkey.
Barack Obama is coming out of his political retirement in the hope of tipping the Congress. Explanations.
Barack Obama leaves his political retirement in the hope of typing Congress. Former U.S. President Barack Obama released Wednesday the great discretion he had displayed since leaving the White House to put his weight behind 81 Democratic candidates in parliamentary and local elections in November, who could see the balances to be able to switch in favor of his camp at Washington Congress, faced with a Donald Trump who will not fail to participate in meetings of Republican candidates in the coming weeks, an exercise that he particularly likes. The elections of November 6 will allocate 435 seats in the House of Representatives, 35 senators seats out of 100, as well as the positions of governors of 36 states.
And that's all for this news. Thank you for joining us on RTD Channel. Have a good night.